That's what I'm talking about. How's everybody doing tonight? It is Monday, July 12th. We have surpassed our time past the 4th of July holidays. So I don't think we got any more holidays coming up for a couple of months, unless y'all celebrate my birthday in August 1st. But y'all can, but you don't have to. My name is Mike Alleman. Welcome to Alleman Financial Alleman Group. We are here to have a good time. Katie's in outer space. Speaking of space, did you see Richard Branson? He was up there. Did he go by you, Katie? Nope, he didn't. All right. Well, hey, look, it's a crazy world. Things that changed since last week. We got protesters in Cuba. We got billionaires flying to space. It is insane. What else is going to happen? I mean, y'all know we've been waiting for Cuba to get free for a long time. So get ready for some crazy stuff. 2022. Y'all thought 2020 and 2021 with COVID were bad. I mean, look, we got Jeff in the sunset. I mean, or looks like Mars molten lava. I mean, what else? There you go. Everybody got something going through their head. Blue, red, don't matter.
That's sunset, anyway, baby.
Sunset. All right. It really does kind of look like, compared to Katie with the Earth's glow, it almost looks like it's like the other side of it, red versus blue. Yeah, that was an old video. Y'all remember that? Oh, look, Michelle got like weeds in her eyes. That is just straight up freaky. Stop it.
Green teeth.
Oh man. There's a lot of things going crazy on the internet. Fitz sent me a TikTok of something that was funny earlier. I can't share with y'all. It's just funny to meet him. And I said, "Yep, you just wasted about 5 minutes of my day," because I went and looked at all the other videos. Before you know it, I'm up there trying to dance. Y'all know how it works. But anyway, it is July 12th. This is our Monday night call. We do this every Monday night, unless we don't. And this is for our team to get together and share some wisdom. And tonight we're going to talk about how to build a big book of business. And I know my ladies, the M's and the A's and the Y's, Megan, if you just would have had a Z name, we could have had from A to Z. That's what I'm saying. It was close. It's a little bit short.
Just A to Y. A to Y.
A to Y. Z's the extra that, we leave to y'all. But anyway, we're back tomorrow on the Fitz Group sales meeting. So make sure you get your numbers turned in. It's about tracking the activity. It's not about the competition to who's in the top 5, although for some folks it's important. But it's to say that you did work this week, and we're going to recognize that you did work, and that's the most important thing. Dials eventually lead to dollars, and that's what we're talking about right there. So anyway, Michelle, you got some things to say?
Welcome to the call. We're glad it's Monday and looking forward to a fabulous week. Megan, I'm just going to let Megan take over.
What's up, everybody? Well, I think it was a pretty awesome week coming out of SummerSlam, and I'd like to hear some of the things that you guys took away from that event later on. Maybe we can even go through what our 90-day goals were that we committed to while we were there towards the end of the call. I'm just going to go over a few things about building a book. And when I say a book, I don't mean like a legit book. I mean a book of business, a book of clients that you can pull from in later years. When you come on to be an agent, it's initially you're just trying to get through those first initial, fears of dialing the phone, going and studying clients, and you're a little uncomfortable in the beginning. But what ends up happening is over a period of time, after you continue to put yourself in those scenarios, you look back and you go, oh my gosh, I have a lot of clients. And that is worth a lot if you use it correctly. So I want to kind of go through on the things you need to do to build a book of business quick, and then the things that you'll do in the home to keep a client in your book of business, and then the things that you need to do to kind of manage that book of business. So first thing I'll say is that you cannot build anything unless there is lots of activity and work behind it. Nothing is built without work ethic. You can't build a building by just thinking about it and putting together the plan. Someone's got to go out there with the dirty work and do it, right? Or else the building never actually gets put up. So we can sit here and think about all the things that we want and dream about all the things that we want, but the building is not going to get built unless we get out there and sit on appointments. So first thing I'll say is you cannot build a book of business unless you can overcome every day, like overcome something every single day. Initially, it's going to start with overcoming the fear of maybe making phone calls. Maybe some of you aren't afraid of making phone calls, but for me, even like I still get nervous when I go to make my first couple of dials in every dial session. So just overcoming something every day is going to move you through the process of building that book a lot quicker than if you just stop and think about the things that make you nervous, uncomfortable, or scared. So overcoming every day is a big one. You've got to overcome something to get to the next stage. So dialing the phone is the first most important thing. You cannot have appointments unless you are getting on the phone and talking to people. Second most important thing is going to sit on these appointments. If you are not talking to a client or talking to a new recruit or talking to one of your agents, you are not doing an income producing activity. Those are the income producing activities. If you are doing other things, those are also important things. However, those are things that can be done either early in the morning or late in the evening. So I want to challenge you to think about your time when you're sitting there and you're doing the other things, like the things that aren't sitting in an appointment, talking to a recruit or talking to an agent. Ask yourself how you can be doing one of those things. How can I change what I'm doing right now or adjust what I'm doing right now to do one of those things that aligns with the income producing activities? We want you guys to build a book of business quick, and we want you to make money, and we want you to be happy. Those are important to us. And so this is just going to line you up to have that success. So when you're booking the appointments and you're sitting on these appointments, people are looking for 5 things when you're in that home. So I want to give you 5 things to remember when you are in the home. This is what your client is thinking, okay? They're thinking, that, do they like you and do they trust you? That's number 1. Number 2 is, have you explained to them why you do what you do and why you work with the carriers you work with? Have you shown your conviction about, I work with, these are the carriers that I represent, and I work with all these carriers so that I don't work for one carrier? Does that make sense? What that means for you is that I'm not here biased by which company we're going to go with. I'm here to make sure that we put you in the plan that's best for you. One of my favorite companies out of these is Foresters. The reason I love Foresters is because they give all these extra benefits to their members. People who have policies with them, you can get college scholarships for your kids. You can set a will up for free. You can get free discounted legal service. You can get tickets to family fun events in your local area. You can get grants to sponsor your favorite charities that you want to give to. They are a not-for-profit life insurance company. So for me, those types of things are important to me, and that's why I love Foresters. And if I can put one of you with them today, I will. Especially because we've got these 2 kiddos running around, they're going to go to college one day, and this policy could help with that. So have you explained to them why? That's number 2, why you work with the carriers you do and why you do what you do. The third thing is, have you identified a problem and have you given them a solution? Problem and solution. You have to identify why you're there. And sometimes it's not as easy as just asking them, why did you fill this form out? Sometimes it's going through the emotion, actually all the time, it's going through why they filled it out, but also drawing it out, finding where there's a gap in what they love and what they know they need covered, but what they don't have covered, right? It's our job to find that problem, and it's our job to have a solution to fill that gap. Fourth thing is figure out if it makes logical sense with the financial picture page. So are you going through and actually figuring it out from the financial picture page if it's a logical solution for the problem? If it's not, you're probably just selling them on something. You know what I mean? You're selling them something that they don't really need or want because you haven't found a problem. You're not filling the problem. So the financial picture page helps figure out if it makes logical sense. Whatever your solution is, if it makes logical sense with their specific situation. Fifth thing would be to connect with them on an emotional level. If you're not connecting with them on an emotional level, eventually they can like you and trust you. It can make sense. There can be a problem. But on the days where they really hate paying for insurance and there's not the emotion behind it, they could make decisions that aren't logical. Does that make sense? There's a lot of tools that we use in the home to eliminate things like that from happening, like the I am your policy page. Something that helps me kind of tie in the emotion at the very end of an appointment is flipping that I am your policy page over to the client, turning it around and going through it with them. But also, and if you don't know what the I am your policy page is, if you go into the Alleman Financial website and go to the archive of resources, it is there. But essentially, what it says on there is it's a letter from your policy, and it solidifies the emotion again. And how I say it to the client is, hey, on those months that you hate paying for insurance, because believe me, there will come a day where you're like, oh my gosh, this insurance is coming out again. When those thoughts start coming through your head, I want you to pull this form back out, and I want you to read this little letter from your policy right here. And it ties that emotion back into why they first bought it in the first place. And then, so those are the five things in capturing the client. And then keeping the client is when you have a book of clients, you need to manage that book of clients. People on average are going to buy life insurance 7 times throughout their life. 7 freaking times. And if you're not staying in contact with them, someone's going to come in and capture that extra business if it's not you. So we've got to book appointments to build the book. We've got to do the right things in the home to capture the client. And then we've got to manage the book of business to make sure we are being that lifetime agent and capturing them at all points in their life. I did an assessment on myself to see how many times I've bought an insurance. And I have bought life insurance 7 times already in my life, and I am 28.
Wait a minute. Hold up. I just want to know, does that include the very first time when your mama bought insurance for you?
I don't know. It might be. I did include the Mutual of Omaha term policy you originally put on me. I did include the IUL that you originally put on me. If there was others that you haven't told me about, then I did not include those. But I'll tell you what I've bought on myself. I bought a Mutual of Omaha term that she put on me years ago. I bought a Forester's accidental. I bought a Mutual of Omaha accidental. I bought a Forester's term. And I've bought 3 IULs. So
And
that's,
by the way, I don't still pay for any of her insurance policies, just in case you were wondering.
no, eventually, and you can tell your clients this as well. Eventually, your kids need to pick up this payment. You're starting this college plan for them today, but you're not always going to have this payment, right? Once they get of age and start working, this is something that you need to transfer to them. This is just a gift that you started. So yeah, I point that out because I was like, I wonder how many times I've bought insurance, because they've always heard that the average person buys life insurance 7 times in their life. By the way, these are just policies on me. These are not including the policies on Jonathan. So I tell you that because I've learned more, I bought certain policies at the time for certain reasons, but as I've grown or gotten older, there's been other reasons that I've wanted or needed additional insurance. So your clients are the same as me. Your clients are the same as you. And we all have a story of, if you don't, you will eventually. We all have a story of that client that bought insurance, that was our client, and then they went back to buy insurance again and they didn't buy it from us. And the only reason that they didn't was because we weren't staying in contact with them. So you got to build your book, capture the book, manage the book. If you can do that, when you do that, you will have an extremely profitable business. After you've been in a business for a period of time, you should no longer only rely on leads. You have clients sitting there waiting for your help. And typically, and I know that we've talked about this at the Summer Slam, but 20% of your business is going to be 80% of your business, if that makes sense. Like your clients are going, a percentage of your clients are going to be the people who do the most business with you. And if you're not staying in contact, you're just walking over. You're walking over dollars to pick up pennies if you just continue to be a lead junkie for your entire insurance career. So I hope this encourages you to do all 3, but it starts with making phone calls and sitting on appointments. And so if you don't have clients, and if you're not capturing the client, you got to start back at the top. You got to start back with booking appointments and capturing the client. One other thing, this tip I'll give real quick. This is something that I put on my dashboard this week, and I want you guys to all do the same if you don't mind. I was listening to a podcast this week, and I was like, I really need to be reminded of what I need to do in every single home, because I forget, just like all of us, and I'm not perfect, just like all of us. I do not do all the right things in every single appointment. And sometimes I walk out of there and I go, dang, I could have done this better, or I could have offered this, or I should have done this. So I just want all of you to get a little sticky note or a piece of tape or something that you can put on your car, inside of your car, where you can see it as you're driving and getting out for your appointments. But I just want you to put the 4 basics. Literally write 4 basics. And then within that 4 basics, I want you to pick up a check, referrals, save money, and recruit. So pick up a check, referrals, save money, recruit. And I want you to look at that before you walk into every single appointment. Those are the things that you need to be covering inside of that home. And if it's not on the forefront of our mind, then you're not going to do it, period, in a story. None of us do if it's not on the forefront of our mind. So let's try to put healthy perspectives, thoughts in the forefront of our mind, especially when we're about to walk right into an appointment, to make sure that we are really covering all the basics, because that's what gets us paid, and that's what builds the book, and that's what keeps us in the book, and that's what continues to have business down the line, is doing all those. So I know I just went over a lot. If y'all have any questions, feel free to ask. But I also, if anybody wants to speak up, I would like to hear some goals that people set at SummerSlam for the next 90 days, if y'all don't mind sharing.
You see the
Yes,
question
my
on the
goal
chat?
is- Oh, go ahead. I'll take myself off.
Oh,
No, you're good. You're good.
Go ahead,
Oh.
Sharon. Diane, in a second.
Okay.
Go ahead, Sharon.
Oh, I was gonna say, my goal is to dial 300 dials a week and to visit, make 5,000 AP every week, have my health license, and work the system.
Love it. You can totally do it. Anybody can do this. It's just activity. It's just work. And that's what that is. To answer your question, Diane, the reason, so not all of those policies are still active. So that's something to point out. 7 people buy policies 7 times on average, but they don't necessarily keep them all. So some of the policies originally were just to get me started on a policy, but then I needed to increase it because when I got married, I felt I needed to increase the amount of insurance that I had. So that's the reason. It's not because of change of beneficiaries necessarily. It's just because I had a need for more insurance, and I also was setting up my tax-free retirement accounts in the IUL. So I was adding more because I wouldn't necessarily want to change the contract that was originally put in place for me years ago that my mom set up. So I hope that helps with that question. Anybody else want to go through what their goals were? Mom, I saw you unmuted.
I was going to say something else about the policies that you have, and just like overall strategy when you're sitting with a customer. One of the things that I just want to point out, because it's going on right now in the last 10 years, people have refinanced so many times. You could speak to someone literally last year or 2 years ago and then find out this year that they've refinanced their home. I was speaking to a customer yesterday who refinanced their home, and I've had their policy with them for over 10 years. And they both have return of premium plans. They like return of premium, but I found out that they had increased their mortgage because their kids are now going to college. They just refinanced last month. So I am turning around and quoting an additional, we keep their return of premium plans, but an additional return of premium plan for him, which they're probably going to do tomorrow. So that's just another strategy. We have a lot more products than we used to have. He's almost 60 and he can still get a 20-year return of premium product, which is a bigger premium for you and a better value for the customer. So I just want to point that out. I'll tell my goals at the end if we have time.
Yeah, that was a good point. Thank you.
I'll do mine.
Okay.
First one is to get AHIP done, hopefully in the next 2 weeks. I need to get that out of the way and situated. And then the other main goal that I wanted to have accomplished was to have Alaska in the bag again by the time we go to Aruba. I'm a little bit behind, and so I need to kick it in gear, but that was kind of the other thing. And then the last thing would be try to get 5 recruits a month.
Okay, that's good.
So that's where I'm at.
Alaska by October 30th. Do you know how much you need to do?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Doable. I just haven't done it before.
You can do it. You can do it. If you've never done it before, you're probably going to have to invest more than you've ever done before. Doing something you've never done before is a little uncomfortable. So you have to do something else you've never done before to get there. But you can do it. Go ahead, Jeff.
Thanks for the training, Megan. That's great stuff. I wrote it down on my notepad so I can print it out. It was great to get back together with everybody. That was probably the best part. But Andy always says you got to get your mind right. And that's really what that conference was for me. It's you have to get around other people who are doing what you want to do. You know, when I started this business, I said, well, after a couple of years, or a year and a half, I was like, wait a second, all I got to do is what Michelle does. And so I asked her, what time do you get up? You know, exactly what do you do? And Michelle works her tail off, okay? And so does Megan, so does Jonathan. So my goal is to go to Alaska as well. I need to, you know, if you need 15,000 AP a month, you need to submit 20, just how this industry is. So my goal is to submit 5,000 a week and have 3 recruits and come into the office much more regularly, and also to get 3 recruits per month.
Love it. Those are great goals. Anybody else? Well, Stephanie and Juanita and Diane, y'all were the other ones who were there with us at SummerSlam. We did, that haven't spoke up already, we did miss you, Lucas and Olivia. But if y'all want to speak up and just say what your goals were, you don't have to, but I'll leave it open for.
Hey guys, Stephanie, I'm sorry, I can't speak too much. I'm trying to leave the ER. I definitely need to. I mean, I'm the second that with Katie on the AHIP, and then I also my goal is to start recruiting more and buy more leads. Get back in touch with my upline.
Awesome. Thank you, Stephanie.
Thank you. And yes, it was a great conference. Love seeing all of you.
For sure. Okay.
Can I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Thanks, Megan. I took some notes. It was awesome training. Thank you so much. So this year, these last 5 months of the year, number one, I've told Mike he cannot schedule any more vacations for me. We're balls to the wall. We've also hired a new staff member. She started on Friday, Ramona. So we're investing in our business, and we're going to double down and both work really, really hard through the rest of the year. And I'm going to show some people that I can do 40 grand a month issue paid again, like starting August through December. It's going to happen. I'll probably do half of that in July, but just because we have so much vacation. But investing in our staff, investing in our recruiting, and investing in you guys. And, you know, just think about it. If you have 5 agents doing 10 grand a month issue paid, that's 50,000 in business. And if you're making a 10% spread, that's 5 grand a month extra income for you. Who doesn't want that? Who doesn't want 2,500 a month extra income? Who doesn't want $1,000 a month income extra? So that's, you know, and I know that you guys are super talented. We set a little competition, a healthy one, you know, between us and the Joe Walkers of the world and the Grace McGills. And y'all heard it. I mean, I laid the hammer down, and now we all got to make it happen. So we need to keep talking to each other and come to me. Let's help you. Let's help you build the team. So.
Love it. Juanita, did you want to speak up on your goal?
Yeah. Yes. Just to kind of piggyback off of what Michelle said, because Michelle and I were just getting ready to say, you know, you guys might be hearing more from me, bugging you guys with help and stuff. I know I haven't been, you know, coming and you know, getting advice and so forth, but I do like this business. So my one goal is to bug you guys more for help and direction in this business.
Love it. I love that you said that, because that's where it all starts. You have to be willing to call and to get help. If you don't, you'll just be isolated and you'll do nothing. That's how all of us are. We're human. So that's huge. Thanks for saying that.
Thank you. Yes, it's pretty huge for me. So, yeah, I plan to do that, and I'm committed to that. Beyond that, that's where I'm at until I get direction from you guys. Okay.
Cool. Yeah, that's what we want. I mean, we would like if y'all called us more. Like, it's not a bad thing. Like, we want to hear from you. So the only time we won't answer is if we're sitting with a client. I mean, all of us work around the clock, so we're here for you. I hope you know that, all of you, and feel that. But it can't only be us. This is a friendship. It's a relationship. There's got to be effort on both sides, right? So, and I am not, I'll speak for myself. I'm not a mind reader, although I do try to think about every one of you and think what you might need. And I try my best to try to reach out when I am thinking, hey, I think this person might need some extra support. But it does really help when y'all say, hey, like, I just needed to call because I had a bad day in the field, or hey, I just ran into this appointment. I think I could have done it a little bit better. Here's how it went. How would you do it? Because like, I still do that every day, actually. When I'm in the field, I call somebody. And I was telling my table at SummerSlam is a lot of times I'll call Jonathan and he is really helpful, but it can't always be him. And so I have some people in the alliance and the nation side of the national side, and even people inside the FITS group that I'll just call on and say, hey, I need my mind right. I just had a bad appointment. I need you to tell me that it's all going to be okay. Because sometimes, honestly, that's like really all we need to hear. And it's like, okay, it's fine. It's fine. We all,
Megan,
sales bipolar. Okay. We all have that. Go ahead, Jeff.
you know what everybody needs to understand is that this is just the same as the last business I ran for 15 years. The only agents that are calling are the ones who are working. If you're working, you are going to have questions all the time. I mean, I called Mike today. Once you get a little bit better, you can learn how to use some of the tools we have, plus the products, but you will constantly have questions. I mean, if you're calling 10 times a day, you're working. That's how I look at it. So, and everybody makes money if you make money. So that's got to keep in mind. I mean, no one is going to be upset if you're calling.
Mm-mm. Well, I appreciate all of y'all tuning in tonight. I wrote all of your goals down, so I will try my best to hold you to it. But you just got to get up and do what you said you were going to do, and we will cheer you on and support you through that. But I appreciate y'all coming and being on the call with us tonight and making your business a priority in your life. This is showing up to these calls shows that it's a priority to you. And so you're the people that we want to give more to. So keep showing up for you, and we love you guys, and let's kill it this week.
Okay.
We're in business.
Woo!
Thanks, Megan.
Peace
Good
out.
done.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Love
See y'all later.
y'all.
Love y'all. Bye.